All right, so jumping into it. Welcome everybody to this week's campus championship. This is the first match that we have. I'm sure you just saw the bracket get flashed up. If you're on my YouTube Frogs Twitch, it's going to be popped up in between each one.
I think you have to.
And so we decided this week to do a bit of just have as much fun as possible. I named it Meme Week just so that James would really get involved.
Question.
Before we jump into it, if you want to see any of these other matches, there'll be a playlist on the YouTube channel later for my Twitch guys, and for my YouTube guys, it's on there. So before we jump into it, Mike's sounding a little funny.
Toughest punk on a 3.
Oh no, I've been countered already.
Voice in the dark on a 3.
We don't need to play that part of our deck. It's fine.
Rochester, let me know if that's any better. Maybe I can back up a bit.
Guys, this is a proxy.
So
I'm reviewing it's a punch walk.
Big thing
Tam's telling you
that we have to do
only own 3.
is
yeah.
Well, it won't
okay. Let's talk about the matchup now that hopefully my mic sounds better. Let's talk about the matchup. We've got Elena versus Goro. Both incredibly strong, aggressive fire characters. Looks like Goro's being played under all, Elena's being played under good. And let's actually pull up a couple of the key cards that Goro and Elena want to play, right? So inside of the Goro deck, the big thing that he wants to do is discard. It's a little staticky.
Right, so I just what you missed. I checked this for the orphan or for the fallen angels. I revealed this. I discarded that.
Yes.
Then I will build that one in.
The audio of the players too. I'm not actually sure how to fix this.
Sense of Morale. Deflection swing on a 5. 3 or on a 4. 3.
Yeah.
4.
Rochester, I actually just don't know how to raise my mic volume.
Let's use Goro.
Sure.
For whatever you want it to be, because it doesn't go to your attack.
I will remove the top card of my deck and give it +3 speed.
Okay, what a good YouTube video. Okay, so what Goro wants to do is discard the top 4 cards of his deck in order to give things a bunch of damage. What Elena wants to do is give a generic damage buff and then a pretty significant speed buff. It looks like with the Elena deck, we're playing a lot of really good face down cards, and the big thing that we're wanting to do here, currently with like the plan of
1. Your checks get -4. Does that count for this? Right? Blocking with the actions also gives -the check.
He wants to have a ton of face downs, so things like Pulse Flare can pop off, and that's like the entire game plan for Elena. Goro's your turn only, buddy. Or your attack.
Lame. All right,
so we then take and look at the Goro deck, and the main thing it wants to do is it wants to punch walk people. Like that's the main thing that it wants to do.
Take 4. For this dumb shit on a 7.
From here, yeah, it looks like Elena's just popping off, actually. Sword Get Longer is going to build a bunch of stuff. Deflection Swing that we just previously played builds a bunch of stuff. And with Elena, like, everything's going to get, like, +2 damage, +3-ish speed. So it looks like an extra 2 speed. 2 speed, 1 damage. Elena just built a ton of foundations. If we find a Pulse Flare, like, right now, we could just blow them out. But that's okay. We're going to build at least 1, possibly a second and pass. And Elena's just wanting to use her entire staging area to defend herself. She went with no cards in hand, with things like Toughest Punk in Junior High essentially just negating what Goro's in hand says of discard the top 4, as well as Journey West saying that he's probably gonna have to build 1 more turn because of the fact Elena can just face tank a hit and then make the difficulty harder. And then lastly, you've got Voices in the Dark, which is just flipping for another -1 damage to anything. Or if there's a cool card inside of Goro's discard pile, like a Punch or a Judy or even a Punch Walk, we can take and toss it back in their deck, and they'll have to mill it, discard it off the top of the card of their deck again. So looking at Goro, I haven't seen what's inside of his discard pile. It looks like we did have an illegal play, and I told them. I believe this is the first time Jess ever played Goro, and we make a new deck every single week for these events. So, whole point is for us to learn. It looks like we don't have a huge hand. It looks like reduction and then a couple foundations.
You have nothing in hand.
3 foundations to build does not seem terrible. Whenever it comes to Goro trying to build and defend, especially if one of them is a telekinetic mastery. I'm not exactly sure if this is the turn Goro wants to go in or not. And then with the last card being reduction in his hand, being able to block and breaker 2, an important thing that Elena does. Could be important, but I mean Elena's actually already in deadlock on her turn too. It's kind of what Elena wants to do. This seems like a pretty rough matchup for Goro, actually. At least this specific one. Strictly because of the fact that Goro's wanted to play Big Shot Judy and Big Shot Punch in his deck as like main defensive or even offensive tools. And on turn 1, Elena got the White House, which basically says that if everything even goes smoothly, Goro's going to be committing a foundation for each of those Punch and Judys, which as a four-hander, committing a foundation to do anything just does not feel great.
Purifying Thrust on a 5.
So, Elena is going ahead and popping off with a Purifying Thrust. This card is good.
Check a 5.
This card is good, especially if like your whole goal is just to build as many face downs as you can and make your pulse flares and every attack that you sling just as big as it can be.
Solo sword. Sure, I can definitely do that one.
Try and make this a little bit bigger. There we go.
I'll check a 5 for +3 damage.
Okay. From here, depending on what Elena has, we might get to
pass.
We might just see Goro die.
Pass.
I'm going to
with the reduction, like our only game plan, our only hope is that we find the correct time to break her. But by the time we get there and Elena's committed a bunch of foundations, it's probably too late, actually.
-2 damage.
The other big thing that Goro has going for him is this telekinetic mastery, which you're gonna see playing throughout this entire turn. And so
I will
kind of waiting to see what's going on with Purifying Thrust. Decides just to take the damage. That's the right call. It's just 3 damage. We do have a Pulse Flare that is active. And so Elena's sitting here trying to figure out, do I throw it now? Do I throw it later? Because the more turns that you give Goro, let's pull up Pulse Flare. The more turns that you give Goro, the harder it's going to be for Elena. The easier it is for Goro just to kill Elena from 34. Like, that's not a problem whatsoever for pretty much any Goro deck in the game, especially one that's wanted to toss Punch Walk whenever it can. Elena opts to build. From here, I think you just hold foundations because you actually just you don't need to play any more for effects. You've already got enough. Next turn, you're going to be building another one. I believe I saw another White House in hand, and then so that we can block with it. And then on our next turn, we get to use Shishio to give everything +2 damage because we can destroy a foundation, get ourselves out of deadlock for our weapon or stun attack to get +2 damage. Looks like everything on our list is either a weapon or a stun except for Pulse Flare and Aether Leg. So the rest of the attacks, Purifying Thrust, Sword Get Longer, Deflection Swing, Exploding Flame Roar, hilarious, are all pretty good. No Grabbing Castle in play for Elena. Hilarious, but no, that card is a rotated card, and we were playing with standard deck lists today. That is a retro card. Yeah, but Graven Castle would be fantastic for Elena, honestly. Looks like Goro has decided to flip and pick up some attacks, and some pretty big ones, to say the least. We've got Reduction, Life Force Thread, and then that's a proxy for Punch Walk. Apparently, TCGU only has 3? Crazy as it is an ultra rare from a set that's a couple years old, but
you're gonna have to tell me what Punch Walk does.
I am surprised. So anyways, so the line of play here is we play reduction and then discard the top 4 cards of our deck, and now all of our attacks are half the damage of Goro, so everything's gonna get plus 6 damage.
First in hand.
Plus, get them from Rochester CCG. Hey, we are Rochester. We are making a list of things to fill out our collection, so we will certainly be hitting you up. RochesterCCG.com. Not to mention Solar Swords. Basically, everything's gonna get an extra 7 damage, which like you throw 3 or 4 of those at Elena, and she's just gonna die if you don't have the correct blocks.
Yes.
I'll pass. Goro's out there.
If it's not blocked, or if it is, yeah, if it's not blocked. Yep, I said it right.
I will pass.
That's everything then.
Punch walk's a mid, right?
Let's see. I'll just change it out for this one. It is.
It is.
Okay, so what happened there was we switched out Punch Walk from our discard pile for a Punch Walk in our hand, so we have card text. Yeah, this card's
it has
very
multiple
good.
Equal to my momentum.
And it gains multiple X. Normally, like whenever we think about Punch Walk, it just has multiple 3. But depending on what happens with the reduction plus life force thread, we could just be snapping momentum as quick as we want. This thing could have all the way up to multiple 6. If we find the other 3 Punch Walks, we don't block the reduction, we don't block the life force thread. We just find
Any
everything.
responses?
No responses.
We did go for the half block,
Life force on a 6.
take a bit of damage, unless we
5,
flipped a Kirin
6.
Soul to make us not take damage, which would have been interesting. I must have just missed that play.
2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it 3-1.
And life force thread is a throw, just to make it absolutely massive.
Yours.
I will pass.
If it's not blocked.
I will pass.
Solar Sword.
Next attack gets 3-1.
This is still 3. Oops.
Okay, so we currently got a
pass.
6 mid for 11 happening. Discard the top 4. Finding some punches. We probably already have Judy's. I think depending on how we feel, if we had a punch or a Judy in our hand right now, which I know we don't, just for anybody at home, because of the White House existing, you got to play them super, super early.
I'll new Empress in the Nether Realms. I'll lose 3 and draw a card.
Yep.
I wonder what we're trying to draw here.
I will.
Is it maybe just to like
do the top card.
make the block happen?
Is it
Interesting.
reveal? It's reveal, right? Yeah. Yours.
I'll pass.
I'll also pass.
Okay, so actually, I want to talk about this play, right? The play that we just happened, Orphan Alchemist. This card is fantastic in all Goro. It just says enhance, flip, reveal the top card of your deck on a 1/6 with a 2 low block. This card just essentially make sure that you check a 7 whenever you want because of Goro's static of face downs counting towards 2. So if you're ever like in the need to like kill your opponent right now, Goro loves foundations that want to flip, really representing that earth symbol. Dealing the best with his face down foundations. And so when it comes to Orphan Alchemist,
Do you get a momentum lift?
7?
No.
just
you pass.
looking at the top card of the deck,
So this will get. It'll get 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give the next 3-1.
crazy. This thing's crazy fast.
I will pass.
But yeah, this card just lets Goro
I'll
just
use
go in
also.
whenever he wants. Really, really strong.
I'll pass.
Grab another damage. Grab another
that's
4
1,
damage.
4. I'll use Goro.
Yeah.
Man, this is a 16 damage throw. Even if he blocks, he's going to take 8 damage.
I'll pass.
I will also pass. Oh, if it's not blocked,
I'll pass.
I'll pass.
Okay, so now Elena has to make the decision. Do we
9
block
mid
it and
for
give the Goro an extra multiple?
15 again. Should be one more than that, right?
I think so.
Because it's got 4 plus 2 is 6. Plus 1 plus 1, yeah, that's right. It's for 16.
Looks like we have at least 2 punch walks in our discard pile, which means that we're going to have multiple 2. So we have an additional 10, 11, 12, 13 damage
Yep.
on each attack coming.
No block.
And so, I mean,
10
13
with
damage on
bond
each
moving
attack.
Next attack has +2 difficulty.
Sure. I'm gonna lose if I don't pass this anyway. So.
We should already know what it is,
6,
right?
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mhm.
Respond wandering.
And then ready back up for +1
We'll
damage.
get this.
Yeah, this is a good play. Okay, so it looks like we,
It gets 5, 3.
if we can block main block, full block,
I
excuse me,
will
2 of these will live.
Goro enhance to grab.
That's
all
all we
the
need to do.
punch blocks.
That's it.
Oh no! I thought I had all 3 of them in there. Oh well.
Where'd my punch walk go? So looks like we're getting multiple 3. From there, it means that we actually have to block every single one of these. We have to block this 3 more times.
Discard a moment.
Oh, we only have to block 2 more things. 3 things. Yeah, because this is gonna get a ton of damage. The big thing here is like just the
Yours.
I want to choose this momentum and shuffle it back into your deck.
yeah, we definitely should have tried to multiple, because now all we have to do, we have 2 cards in our hand. We get to block 2. We should have just gone ahead and given it the multiple eggs.
You want to cut?
No, that's fine.
We're allowed to half block 1. We got to full block the other. And it
I'll-
looks like that's what the plan is. I know that I've seen a
Probably still too block.
White House in hand for 1, but I can't tell what the other block
I'll
is, or the other
give
the
it
other card
multiple.
is.
I'll pass.
I'll use Goro.
We're now making it lethal. Oh, you know what? I think it's Pulse
I'll
Flare.
pass.
If it's Pulse Flare, then we're gonna have a real tough time. If it's Pulse Flare, I don't know how we pull this out. Yeah, because Pulse Flare does not have a block. I guess we'll find out.
I'll multiple.
I will pass.
Takes
I'll pass.
the not real copy.
On a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3.
Ooh, rough break.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes.
And it's all, we've only got 3 ready cards with 3 cards in our
this one
card
gets
pool.
2.
It's got
Yeah.
I'll
it's a
use Goro.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I don't have a block.
Does not have a block. I thought it was the Pulse Flare. Man, tough break for Elena, but that is just how it goes. Moving on to game 2. All right, so getting into game 2.
Maybe I'll
Goro
remember to
took
White
game
House this time.
1. Elena should be taking game 2, and I don't know if Tyler knows this ruling,
Okay.
but as Elena going first, you
Yeah,
are allowed
I'm
to
good.
build a card face down.
Yeah.
All right, he does. That is like one of the
Level
coolest
2.
parts about Elena as a card.
Three.
Is just her static says after your turn begins, at the top card of your deck, you're stating your face down. This is before you ready, review, draw.
I'll
And
review
so
this
it kind of is a little non-intuitive with White House, but
Sense Morals.
a really easy way to get blown out is by scary actions
Okay.
inside of hands. And so making
Radiation. Reborn Human on a 2?
actions really hard to play with the White House is really good.
Wow.
All right.
Punch Walk gets checked, which is bad on this turn because it's a 1 check, but good for next turn. We already have 3 Punch Walks in our discard pile. It is possible that on the next turn we could just kill Elena. Yeah, we could just kill Elena next turn if we find an okay hand. Elena needs to actually be like petrified of what's happening.
I'm going to check a 5 for 3 damage. Nope. You're in hands.
Pass.
Check a 5 with sense. Check a 4 with sense morals.
So it looks like what Elena's trying to
Check
do
a
is she's
five,
trying to
check
find
I'll
another
use Sense Morals.
purifying
Yeah.
touch to wow, what a good
Pass.
one.
That was
To
yours.
find another purifying touch thrust, excuse me, purifying thrust in order to build in an extra
Oh, for
card,
10
have an
seconds.
extra resource.
I'll pass.
Plays the forbidden technique, grabs an additional
will.
foundation. We might be able to.
Elena, give it 0 speed.
Ooh. I'll pass.
I'll give it 2 damage.
I'll pass.
4 high for 5.
Depending on what we
6.
have,
I'll take 3. Respond, gain 1.
Yeah.
If we have the if we have the pulse flare, we might actually
keep
just
attacking
kill
me.
him, right?
Turn me on a 4. On a 4.
We do not have the pulse flare, it seems, and we have opted
go.
to just build out a staging area of defense as opposed to holding blocks for those.
Not get it in momentum. Actually, it doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, it does not matter where it is. I think Elena might be dead this turn. I think you flip and you put this back and you just grab one punch walk and a nutcracker and you go nutcracker punch walk kill him. Or honestly, maybe even just like punch walk, do all of your stuff because of the way that
Extremely
punch walk
interesting.
works, and I'll grab that real fast.
Mm-hmm.
So you can punch walk the face up punch walk that you have leaves, but like the other one doesn't. But the other ones that you have for your momentum don't. And so you could just like perpetually snowball it over and over and over again.
Yep.
So it looks like we opt to build in some foundations. I think he's just a little trepidatious about
Built in.
about what we have going on. Wants to have a solid. I missed the fourth card we picked up. I was changing the music. Maybe he was actually looking for a Punch and Judy play as well, just to like really bring it in. But depending on what we get off of Elena's, I mean this matchup is so volatile with how it works. Oh, especially if we have it now, Wowzers.
6. I'm gonna build in 3.
The matchup's so volatile. This is just an extra 6 damage on our, it's extra 6 damage or extra 6
Yarn.
speed on our pulse flare.
I'll pass.
I'll Elena give it 0 speed.
Wow, Elena's gotten unlucky
I'll give it 1
twice.
damage.
We are playing a couple of non-blocks in our deck. I actually want to look at the
I
block
will,
zones that we have. It looks like we're playing 12, 13, 14 cards that don't have blocks inside of
Never a
our
day.
63 card deck.
Draw card.
And so with 14 cards, Sense of Morals, Kieran's Soul, Pulse Flare, and Shishio that don't give extra speed off of Elena, it seems like a really interesting choice. These cards are good cards. Like
Also
Sense of
pass,
Morals,
it
like
is
nobody's going to
6%.
tell you Sense of Morals is a bad card. No one's going to tell you Kieran's Soul's a bad card. People will tell you Pulse Flare is a bad card, but like the points to play Pulse Flare in the deck. And Shishio's fantastic. Ask Kevin Broberg. But like people should really think about not playing these cards inside of Elena strictly because of the fact they don't have a block, so they don't have usefulness, pure usefulness on top of the deck, especially with how aggressive we're wanting to play this Elena deck.
7.
Just something to think about.
6, 7.
Looks like we opt to block
I'll say
with a Judy, just hold it for good
Any other
defense.
Nope.
It is possible that we play the
Aether
Pulse
leg on a 6.
Flare and okay,
Or
we Aether Leg,
5, 6.
grab 2 more face downs
Oh,
because
this
of
card
what
doesn't
Aether
want
Leg
to build
does.
in 2.
And they come in face down and ready,
one.
which is like the
Yeah.
sick part.
I'll
And it looks
Elena
like
give it 1 damage.
we
First
can
one.
take.
sure, -2 damage.
Sure.
It looks like we can take
I
and
will pass my enhance.
flip the. Where's the card? Voices in the Dark, and shuffle some stuff in for Pulse Flare to be even
No,
bigger. Here we
yeah.
go.
3.
Let's do it.
5, 6, 7.
This is
You
probably
get it to
going
31.
This is
2,
probably
4,
gonna kill.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
+5 is 27. Woof, we're alive.
I'll flip, choose whatever momentum.
Oh,
Shuffle it into your deck.
you can choose a card in my discard pile.
I could.
Yeah, you have to choose a card in the discard pile.
Why not?
It's actually a good idea not to.
You think so?
I gotta draw a card if you choose.
Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's like
14, 16,
you could draw that card either way, right?
22.
Because of how the card works, because you're playing an ability that could do this.
Your discard pile?
Yeah. I feel like I have to do an ability. Oh, fuck it, shuffle you
You
in.
do have to do an ability. You can't just like not do it. But Goro is totally legal to respond Morphin Alchemist here,
Yes.
Even though
because of the way the words
No.
could, would, should all interact with each other inside of our game. If you could do something, you would do something. And he's playing an ability that causes one or more to leave your deck or discard pile. And this card, wherever we are, Voices in the Dark, certainly does that. Choose one card in either player's discard pile and shuffle it back in the owner's deck. Right? Is that true? Hold on. Can we change this?
Blow these all up for lethal.
Leave deck or discard pile. Yep. Yeah, we could definitely respond with either of those.
Respond. -2.
It's still lethal.
I know.
And it still gets them. The crazy thing is we would have drawn the
Well, you gotta go
we would have drawn the one
first.
mid block. We had the new Siong style.
That's game 2.
We would have drawn it. So yeah, I'll talk to Jeff about that after the match is done.
Yeah.
On to game 3. All right, game 3. Goro gets to go first, which is an advantage he very, very much needs. With the way this Goro deck wants to work, it wants to find the
cool.
punch walks
Alright,
as
then
quickly as
moves.
possible. Honestly, if I was Goro, I actually would have just gone in the
also be
previous turn. If you saw game 2, obviously, I think just like picking up your punch walk and just throwing them all would have been like exactly what I would have done. Gets to
3.
play all of them. Plays out his whole hand.
Just builds down.
Really, really good, especially with the play of Profane Sanctuary. This is half of a Goro mill on now both players' turn.
White House
So now
Military.
Goro gets to mill 4 on all of his
There we
attacks and
go.
gets to mill 2 on one of his
There we go.
opponents in order to push that self mill to the max.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Elena
do
building
something.
out White House, which is going to be huge inside this matchup, as well as finding the
let's
Forbidden
use
Technique for an
Profane.
extra damage on the Pulse Flares.
Yours.
Forbidden techniques.
The flip draw one's going to be fine, but I really think we should draw that card on our turn.
Goro.
I also think that like we shouldn't have drawn this card off of White House unless we were planning on doing stuff
I wanna
on
draw
our
it.
opponent's turn, or unless we were planning on like drawing cards on our opponent's turn. Is he nervous that we're gonna die here? That's the only reason you should draw cards on your opponent's turn. At least that's my opinion, right? 9 times out of 10, I want to interact with my deck
I
as little
will
as
use
possible,
Song Style.
draw-wise,
Mm-hmm.
on my opponent's
We'll
turn, just
grab
because of
this
how
telephone.
the game works with like at the start of my turn, I want to draw up to my hand size.
I'll pass.
If I've gone ahead and
Decent
drawn up to my
enough
hand size on my
towards
opponent's
me.
turn, it's actually less options that I have on my turn when I have when I'm on the play to do stuff. But it looks like we've got the new Siong style
Almost
having
nice.
come in. I'm not sure that we've actually like
5.
done anything that matters building wise.
Go Life Force.
Life Force Thread on the on the
Five.
6 checks a 5, commits 1 more for 6. This thing's gonna smack for a bunch, pretty much guaranteed to get a momentum.
Goro.
There's nothing inside of the Elena deck that I saw off the top that
I'll pass.
in
If something.
hand stops
I'll
the
pass.
throw keyword.
Pass.
On an 8.
We do have to block it though, so
3,
let's hope.
4, 5, 6, 7. Nope.
Yeah, off by
Not
1.
much.
That is a
Take-
ton of damage.
12.
If we have a punch walk in our hand here, we might actually just win the
And
game.
We'll do this one on a 3.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
So we have nabbed an extra momentum, and so now my punch walk has at least multiple 2, with or without extra punch walks in our discard pile. So this is just 18 damage on itself, 30 damage if we count the +4 from Goro, and Elena has to successfully block at least one of these to survive. Not to mention any other attack that we can pick up. So what does Elena do?
Deflection.
Okay,
swing,
we have a deflection swing. If
it.
we have built down anything cool combo-wise,
Enhance,
we then
I'll
get
add a
to
card down,
build
up,
it down.
and respond on with White House.
Build down, pick something up, draw a card. Deflection Swing's really one of the best tools that
we'll just
Elena's
profane.
actually gotten under the good symbol is because of the fact of her random add in with off the top of the deck to her staging area face down. It's easy to accidentally find our key pieces. Like what happens when in 4 turns in a row, all 4 of our pulse flares get dropped. Well, that's where Deflection Swing comes in, to be able to pick those cards back up. We also could be playing Kuwabara's other attack that does that Spirit Sword Thrust, I believe is the name of the card.
Nice.
Wow. For the
You're
third
missing a lot
time
on that.
in this match, we have
I'll
missed our
pass.
speed buff.
I will.
Honestly, it's a good thing that it happened though, because like we were
Also
just gonna make
pass.
this deflection
Yeah.
swing do no damage, and we gotta start chipping away at this life.
Petrifying Thrust on a 6. 5, 6.
Yep.
I'll check a 5 to give it 3 damage.
Nope.
We missed the damage,
Missing
but
a
that's
lot
okay.
on that too.
Yeah, in your hands.
I'll pass.
I'll check a 5 to build in a Petrifying.
Do you check it?
No, I checked a
Oh.
3.
Dang.
Yeah, checks the same card in a
Pass.
row. This feels a little
Oh, sorry.
rough, and this is kind of like the inherent issue with Mitsurugi 1 dot as a character, right? Is he relies on most of his abilities having check a 5 as a cost, which is really cool for inside of his kit, but it's just not consistent
I'll
enough
pass.
to be considered quote unquote good. But that's okay. That's like not the point of playing this week.
I'll pass.
2 damage.
-2 damage.
Okay.
Elena for 0 speed.
Wow. Actually, 4 times. 4 out of like the 6 times that we've done this.
Pass.
Insane.
Pass. It is a 4 high for 3.
Currently, we're just kind of hitting with some chump change. There's not enough foundations in the staging area to just blow out with a pulse flare. I think Elena needs to actually stop attacking, and maybe we even shouldn't have.
3.
And never mind, we do have an exploding flame bore
Cool.
on play.
I will.
The thing
it's
is
fun
this
too.
this stack's gonna be incredibly easy to.
In that case, you give me little choice.
This card's gonna be incredibly easy to block because it's gonna get -3
Fun.
speed. So unless we get something crazy off of Elena, it's gonna do what?
You're in.
6,
Pass.
12 damage.
I'll give it 6 damage.
Pass.
Yeah.
We
This
will
is
give it 2 speed.
2 speed, so now it's a 3 mid for 12.
Pass.
2 damage.
Pass.
Ship it. It is a 3 mid for
It's got way more damage
I
than
was
that,
about
buddy.
to say.
14.
3 mid 14 goes and
6.
blocks with a low block.
Whoa.
Hard checks the 6. Only takes 8 off of this. Correct? No, only takes 7. It being at 14 damage. Yeah, kind of a tough break for Elena, but the extra build is
You have
fine.
it?
But it just doesn't feel good because I mean,
I have like 19 damage.
we have 22 damage in our
You have to destroy your
hand.
whole staging area and then
Good.
die.
Good.
Okay, it looks like we're trying to batten down the hatches just a little bit, but I think, honestly, I think this game might just be over strictly due to just playing a singular punch walk and living. We don't need punch and Judy's, we don't need whatever. Punch walk is just going to throw more attacks than Goro, than Elena will be able to deal with. You've only got to make 3 of these punch walks hit.
Let's go.
I don't even think you need reduction here. I think you just grab like
Do I have less than
big.
last time? Yeah.
crazy attack.
That's fine. You'll get it.
Double reduction does not
Oh,
feel
this is like
great.
the only choice anyway. That's fine.
You could easily play the I guess all right, let's take it back a second. So my thought here is why grab double reduction and not grab a Scarlet
have
Meteor
that.
or a Nutcracker,
Okay,
right?
Yep, that's the right choice.
But with reduction in the card pool, it just means that the
Almost forgot
punch
that you
walk
had White House.
multiples are going to be more effective. It means that like they have to block every single punch walk that there is, and honestly, depending on what happens with the
All right,
reduction
reduction.
plays,
Yeah.
he's gonna we have to block the reductions so
I
that
will
we
start with Profane.
are allowed to block the life force thread and not die. Because if we don't block the reductions, they're already going to be at 1,000,000 damage.
Offense.
if it's not blocked.
I will pass.
It's going to be a 5 damage attack, bring us down to 17. And then the next one's going to be
Yours.
7
I'll
damage
pass.
attack, bring us down to
I'll
10.
pass.
And then with Life Force Thread
Mhm.
plus reduction, plus
Reduction.
Goro,
4.
we're just not allowed to block that.
3, 4.
Yeah, I think this game's a wash.
We will use Goro.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just put this at 6.
We're gonna tune into the players and listen to them finish up
Good.
this game.
How many punch marks do you have in there?
I have 1.
We're gonna shuffle it back into your deck.
Rude.
I did that already, so I'll just pass.
Free love, we
All
are
right,
back to
did
standard.
I say this?
Yes.
No, I'll use reduction.
Yeah. I'll also pass.
I'll pass.
On a 5. Got it.
Life Force on a 7.
Uh-huh.
3. 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give 3, 1 to my next.
Yeah. I will pass.
No actions, please.
That's fine, I'll pass. Wasn't playing them anyways.
No, I just need to try and
Yeah.
help myself with the next
Yeah, I
check.
get it, I get it.
If it's not blocked,
Pass.
Goro.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I have a bad feeling. Yours.
I will pass. 16
Oh,
damage.
it's more. Send it.
I'll take 13.
On an 8.
Dang.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, I still got it. Cool. Whew. Alright.
Too bad I didn't have a way to flip this. Oh well.
All right, I guess that's like the worst case scenario.
Just build it down.
And like I
Super
said,
good, right?
like I feel like just having
maybe.
punch walk throw those extra attacks meant that it was over, right? I think this is just like a
Possibly.
perfect example
Probably.
of just
We'll find
Jeff
out.
playing a little greedy.
Since rolls
Because
on
all we needed was the punch walks. It's possible with
808
us
on a
having
5. Got it.
with having enough face downs that we
I'll
just our whole
pitch
staging area
this
is
to
face
build
down.
down to.
It's just we're gonna pulse flare
Pass.
and just kill him. The only thing that
I'll
could
give it
stop
1
us
damage
Goro
away.
wise is a telekinetic mastery. We found another punch walking.
don't need
But
to
I
use
think this
speed.
might actually just be the reverse sweep just because of a
I'll
bit of a greedy play. So anybody at home reviewing back, like
fuck up.
it's better
I guess.
to
Oh,
he
no.
didn't have to use every card in his hand. He didn't have
Just
to
I think
play
it's
Yeah. We'll see if this on a 6.
we didn't have to play the
Yep.
reduction
2,
or
4,
whatnot.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24 enough?
Yes, 24
Yeah.
is enough. Blows up his whole staging area.
24 damage?
-2.
Alright.
And there it is. The
So
pulse
is
flare
that-
takes it.
29, 27. Ship it.
All right.
And there we go.
If I made that check, I won, huh?
Yeah,
Shows you the shows you the power of pulse flare.
Dang it.
Yeah, good job to both players. Make sure you check out in the description down below the profiles for both of these decks. We'll catch you guys in the next match. Thank you.